Vyrah, reporting for duty. Another time together, we are gonna watch some YouTube together. I've got some things that I want to watch. You're kind of there. We're gonna do some React. You're just gonna watch YouTube with me. That's pretty much where we're at. All right, so let's get into it. All right. So let me just check. Let me just check first. I lost some VOD. Wait, there's no sound. Why is there no sound? Is there sound? Oh my fucking god. So there is sound in the audio capture. Is there sound? Okay. So there is sound here, but on the streaming, on the stream, and on the VOD, give me sound, man. What's going on? Give me sound, friend. Oh my god, it doesn't load. Oh my. Can you load? Oh my fucking god, now it's the fucking Twitch that doesn't fucking load. Okay, now it loads. Now it loads. Okay. Right. Okay, so everything is working. I will just check.
What do you remember?
Okay. Can you load?
What do you remember?
Okay, so yeah, I need to do 15 fucking checkups. But now we are done. We are done. Okay. So, our Karam, our Karam. Okay, gameplay. Let's check this out. So, what's this game?
Acheron is a new team-based PvP game where
It's really fucking funny when it's like I just asked the question literally, what's this game? And the nice girl from the trailer explained me what the fuck is the game right next sentence. Like this is magic. Oh fuck.
What do you remember?
Archeron is a new team-based PvP game where 15 teams of 3 fight to ascend a mysterious tower. Your team will work together to collect items, combine their powerful abilities, and create unique builds on the fly to be the last team standing. I'm Bex from Bonfire Studios. Thanks so much for taking a moment to check out our game. Our team has been eagerly looking forward to putting Archeron in the hands of players, and we can't wait to show you what we've been working on. So let's dive in. When you play Archeron, the first thing you'll notice is its isometric free aim camera, which creates Archeron's high-stakes combat that requires skillful aiming and navigation of teamfights in close quarters. Button mashing won't get you a win. Strategic moment-to-moment gameplay is your path to victory. Danger can always lurk just beyond your vision, so to stay ahead of the game, you'll need to pay close attention to Archeron's audio cues.
I hear enemies.
In every match of Archeron, you have the opportunity to create your own build from scratch. You'll start with only your fists to defend yourselves, while you quickly find weapons and abilities from treasure chests, quests, monster drops, and executed opponents. Items determine your playstyle for each match, not roles or character classes. After a few minutes of gearing up, you'll hear the beacon's call.
The time for ascension has begun. Claim a beacon and fight.
This means you must make your way to one of the many beacons that are now marked on the map. There aren't enough beacons for everyone, so if your beacon is contested, you'll need to take out any other teams that seek to stake their claim on it. Surrounding each beacon is the Abyssal Storm, a powerful force that destroys anything in its path. Your beacon is the safest place to hide from the storm, but this safety is an illusion, as you'll almost always be corralled into the path of another enemy team. If your team stays on the beacon uncontested for 30 seconds, you'll earn the right to ascend to the next floor. As you climb the tower, teams are eliminated, leaving the final two to battle it out on the top floor and determine which team will be victorious. The teams that make it here are the ones who work together, call their shots, strategize their positions, and create their builds together. Think of Archeron like a game of deadly musical chairs with super fun items and abilities. Speaking of which, let's talk about creating your build. Your build will consist of 4 items, a crown, an amulet, and 2 weapons. Each item grants you abilities that determine your gameplay style. Whether your preference is hammers, spears, crossbows, daggers, ice, fire, slams, throws, piercing, and so on. These items, or relics as we call them, are the heroes of Archeron. There are many items with unique abilities that you can mix and match and complement each other in a variety of ways. Some are part of a 4-item set. If you collect 2 items from a single set, you'll be granted a set bonus, a buff that offers you an advantage. You could even pick up 2 items from one set and 2 items from another to receive 2 set bonuses. If you collect all 4 items from a set, you can transform into an Eternal, which will unlock a 5th ability. However, the trade-off is that you cannot leave that form for the remainder of the match. Archeron is all about finding the items that work for your playstyle and synergizing them with your team. There are thousands of possible item combinations, and the more times you cycle through the tower, the more possibilities you'll uncover. These cycles are a core part of Archeron. Just as one battle is ending, another begins. In fact, some deaths are not endings at all. If your teammates survive, there are numerous comeback mechanics. You're not out until your team's out, so don't requeue until it's over. If you're genuinely out, just requeue with your team or find new and worthy allies to start the cycle anew. Once again, the tower calls. What you take and what you leave behind will shape your fate. Archeron is currently in alpha, which means we're still finishing up a few things, so you may see some work-in-progress content and things we're still experimenting with. During the alpha playtests, we're inviting you to join our community and try to break our game by helping us find the edge cases while we work towards launching on PC and console next year. If you want to find out more about how to jump in, check out the link in the description. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you in the tower.
Okay. Wishlist now, Archeron. This is wow. Actually something new. Actually something new. Asymmetrical MOBA MOBA style oh my fucking god, oh, it's called not survival, but like how is it called? I need the name. I need the name. Mm, Battle Royale. Okay, so this is a MOBA asymmetrical type of multiplayer. Let me restate. So this is an asymmetrical MOBA that is battle royale. A battle royale asymmetrical MOBA. Okay, so first thing to say, like, it looks mechanically really fun to play. It really looks really fun to play. Really really interesting in the way it plays out. The fact that, like, it's asymmetrical, and the fact that, like, it's team based is like multi-team based, like not only two teams is better, because I think that, like, when it comes to like multiplayer games, MOBAs have like kind of like explained the problem is like it's fine to be in a losing team if there are many, but it is not fine to be in the losing team if there are only two, especially in MOBAs. The gameplay is so you build your own character, but then you become an Archeon, a legend. How is it called?
If you collect all 4 items from a set, you can transform into an Eternal, which will unlock a 5th.
An Eternal, right? And so, okay, so my problem was, so I absolutely dig everything about this game. I think that, like, this is interesting. This is like worth your time. Like, this is worth the try. Like, this is absolutely worth a try. Why the fuck not? My question is, will it be free to play? If it is free to play, I will actually I think that, like, it will be perfect. If it's not free to play, how do you keep it going, right? But I think that, like, it's free to play. I think that, like, the system of items is really interesting. There are like many mechanical, like, gameplay loops that are really interesting in this game, fascinating even. The gameplay wise, it looks fun. It looks fun. It looks really... The only problem that I have is... Goddamn, we're back in... it's not Diablo, but, like... Goddamn, we're back in the... It's gray, ambient gray, like, and fucking, like, dark blue all over again. And, like, the characters, like, it lacks personality. Like, I think that, like, this is the only problem that I have with the game, is that it lacks personality. But... overall, like, this is quite the interesting surprise. Wow, I'm quite stunned. Yeah, Archeon. I'll actually, like, I'll give it a try, probably. I'll give it I think it's worth giving it a try. Wait. Okay. Let's check this out. Archeon official reveal trailer.
What does the garden look like today, I wonder?
This place. I think it's a lower world.
It's all contradictions.
There must be something worth finding here.
I'm missing something. Something important. What do you remember?
Monsters.
Eternals. The ones that don't fade away.
Can we find a way out? You can never escape your past.
You are what you carry.
And what you leave behind.
I fear what I have become.
Okay, this is interesting. The story, like, I like the art style, but it, like, I don't know. It feels like it feels like something is missing when it comes to. Well, the art style is fine. The story is mysteriously mysterious. Like, is lacking. That's the word. Like, it is not exactly my style, all right, but it is beautiful, it is interesting. I am curious to learn more about Archeon. Let me just check this out. Right. Okay. Steam official hardware announcement trailer? What the fuck? Okay, let's check this out. Let's check this out.
Hey everyone, this is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere. We're pretty proud of it. People who own Steam Decks have been playing everywhere, and we couldn't be happier with the response we've heard from all of you. We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future of Steam hardware. Today, we're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with powerful PC gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam, and all are shipping in early 2026. Let's start with this one. This is the new Steam controller. The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips, so you can play wherever and however you want. Just like with Steam Deck, We want you to be able to play any game with your Steam controller, even games never built with a controller in mind. It has all the great features from Steam Deck, like trackpads, gyro, and back buttons, all in a comfortable form factor. Its next-generation magnetic thumbsticks let you play with improved responsiveness and longevity. We've put capacitive touch sensors on the thumbsticks and now on the back of the controller too, so you can enable precision gyro aiming with the touch of your thumb, or your pinky if you're feeling fancy. Play for way too long with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that allows for over 35 hours of playtime. With Steam Controller, we want to make charging and wireless pairing something that's actually easy. That's why we created the Puck. The Puck is a combination wireless adapter and magnetic charger included with every Steam controller. Snap it on to charge. Once you're charged up, snap it off again. You can play over Bluetooth or a wired connection too. The new Steam controller works with any device running Steam or Steam Link, whether it's a PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam Machine. Oh, this is the new Steam Machine. Steam Machine is a powerful gaming PC in a small but mighty package, designed for your games on the big screen. It's quiet too, which is crazy since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck, powered by a discrete, semi-custom AMD GPU, enabling 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with FSR. Steam Machine runs SteamOS made for a bigger screen, built for gaming in your living room, your office, or wherever you play, with the rest of your PC accessories. Steam Machine borrows some great features from Steam Deck, like lightning-fast sleep and wake, an SD card slot to easily expand your storage, and brings some new tricks of its own, like a customizable LED strip, which can show different system functionalities, or your own light show. Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want, and it works with all your favorite desktop and gaming accessories. Steam Machine is designed to work hand in hand with the Steam controller, with the low latency, wireless connectivity of the Steam controller puck built right in. And it's great for streaming your games to your phone, tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, or Steam Frame. Oh, yep, this is Steam Frame. Steam Frame is Valve's next-generation VR hardware. Stream all your Steam games, VR and non-VR alike, in this comfortable, lightweight, wireless VR headset. Steam Frame uses camera-based tracking, so getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up. Steam Frame controllers, included with the headset, are designed with all the inputs you need for your VR titles, like motion controls and capacitive tracking for all your fingers, as well as a split gamepad layout to work with your whole Steam library. They even feature the same magnetic thumbsticks as Steam Controller for responsiveness and longevity. Steam Frame also pairs seamlessly with the new Steam Controller, a great companion for playing non-VR games in the headset. To make sure streaming is smooth and stable no matter what, Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter that lets you stream your games from your PC to your headset over a fast and dedicated Wi-Fi 6 connection. And the game is streamed to your frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking. And Steam Frame is a PC, running SteamOS. In addition to streaming, you can install and play a bunch of VR and non-VR games right in the headset without a host PC. You can also expand your onboard storage to fit even more games with a microSD card. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame. All built with the same DNA as Steam Deck, all powered by Steam, work together, and can be used however you'd like with whatever peripherals and accessories you choose. Everything you see here is the culmination of what we've learned from our previous hardware experience and what we've wanted ourselves as gamers. Powerful PC gaming in an open ecosystem, giving you more ways to enjoy the games you love and discover new ones. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame are all shipping in early 2026. Learn more at steampowered.com/hardware.
Okay, there's so much to unpack in here. Oh my fucking god, they fucking did it again. Steam did it again. They fucking changed the game all over again. So let's talk about like the Steam controller. Steam controller will be a good quality controller. The base controller, the premium controller that you want to have, right? So if like for me, I love my good old Xbox controller that I have. I love it. It's my Xbox controller that I had since I've been playing Xbox when I was a children. So for me, this is the premium controller. This will never be like, I will never feel better than playing with this. But when it comes to premium controllers, well, the Steam Deck is actually the premium controller that you want. The Steam controller is the premium controller that you want to have if you're not someone that is actually like well happy with with his childhood, like fucking like with his childhood controller, right? Let's get into the machine. What the fuck? Like, so they release a fucking console. The console is a PC. The PC is a console. The PC will fucking run well. This will be really interesting to see the performance of it all. And it will be really interesting to fucking like well, to test it out. My question is, okay, like, what can it run? Where are the limits? But I'm pretty sure that like it will be pretty fine, since like Steam Deck is already like fucking like is fucking dope, right? So I'm not too scared. I'm just like really curious about how it will shape the gaming industry and everything else. And then the VR headsets. Okay, so this is a big one, because do you know who sells VR headsets these days? Fucking Facebook, or what's the new Meta, right? Like the partnerships, like basically, like if you want to know the story of VR real quick, it's basically run by corporate giants that are not the right ones, and for some reasons, because they invested in VR for different reasons and not gaming. And so actually Valve having a take in the VR space, a personal take that is like completely like Valve, right? Completely Steam, right? Well, this is interesting, because as much as like other products are not like as valuable, you see this like this will be interesting, especially since they added like a lot of like new trendy technology, such as, I don't know if you can see it, playing basically like outside, like basically like having your, basically it's you put the VR set on, and it's kind of like you have a fixed screen on the wall and you play without a TV, for example, right? So it's really cool. There's so much to there is like many things to that are interesting. I really and that's the thing with Valve, especially after the success of the Steam Deck. I don't think that like Valve will actually like mess this out, and I think this is like great news for everyone, especially like, and it's coming early 2026. Like they will have their own like portfolio of products in early 2026. This is absolutely a great news for affordable gaming when it comes to, because the Steam Deck is actually affordable gaming. Let me just check the price of the Steam Deck real quick, just so you know that I checked. It is 500 euros. It's like, it is 500 euros. It is worth these 500 euros. Well, basically, it's the price of a Switch, except that the Switch doesn't fucking like run everything. It's not a microcomputer. It is locked up and everything, right? Yeah. So this is a great news. This is a great news. good on Steam, for thinking ahead and thinking about the players before everyone else, because like this is really good. Okay, let's check out something lighter. Cyberpunk 2077. Ever heard of it? AI, another AI. I know that I'm boasting, like I'm really like annoying with this AI stuff, but like I think that like it's really fucking fantastic that like we get to see this these like snippets of like a movie that we'll all fucking watch. So let's check out Cyberpunk 2077, 80s live action movies. So basically the same style, retro futuristic. God damn, this was only 2 minutes long. Oh my fucking god. My, like, you know this was made by a passionate for passionates, because I'll tell you the secret. You know who it is? It's Ciri from The Witcher, and you can find her in you can actually find Ciri in the in Cyberpunk. So yeah, if you didn't know, like that's why he put Ciri in Cyberpunk, like a montage, right? other than that, like, you get to see all the characters, like, except like Johnny Silverhand. We all know fucking Johnny Silverhand. It's fucking like Keanu Reeves. Like, haven't you seen Keanu Reeves, right? But like all the other characters, like, taking form and like being realistic. Wow, this is really something. Like, this is really something. Maybe I really hope for a cyberpunk like movie or TV show made of AI. Fuck it, like, they talk about AI, it's about like fucking do it yourself at this point, you know, like everything is working, the story is here, like I will watch it 10 out of 10. Well, it makes me replay the game once again. Fucking probably, man. Like, I guess I'll replay fucking Cyberpunk, huh? All right, this was fucking cool. This was fucking cool. So let's check this out. Gaming is not a waste of time. It is not enjoying yourself doing whatever the fuck you want is not a waste of time, all right? But if someone actually did the research, that's actually like, if there are like health benefits to that, I will accept them, like, quite frankly, like gladly.
Let's be honest, most of us have had that moment where you're a few hours deep into a gaming session, maybe you've just finished a big mission or wrapped up a boss fight, and suddenly it hits you. What am I doing? I could have been productive, I could have gone to the gym, could have learned something, I could have fixed something or built something. That sinking feeling, guilt. Like, gaming is this unproductive, passive escape. And the thing is, that feeling doesn't just come from nowhere. It's built into our culture now, into our routines, and the way that we measure value in adulthood. So let's break down exactly where this guilt comes from, because if we understand it, we can start to dismantle it. The modern world runs on output. You're judged by your job title, how busy you are, how much you're grinding. Work culture, especially in the UK and the US, pushes this unspoken rule that downtime has to be earned. If you're not using your time wisely, you're wasting it. And gaming, that gets lumped in with the mindless entertainment bracket. But here's the twist, you're not wasting time at all, you're recovering. Research from the Journal of Media Psychology shows that video games are one of the most effective forms of active recovery.
I think that, like, this is true, but the problem is that, like, the perspective that people put on gaming and on actually just enjoying life these days during this era is actually the wrong one, because each time you try to recover from, like, get to recovery time, you feel sick because you feel like you should have done more, and because of that, there is like this like enjoyer, like, just like resting guilt, right? You rest and you feel guilty about, like, resting because you could have finished, and the problem is that, like, this is really something about perspective, and this is like pure psychology, where, like, the problem is that, like, if you feel guilt when you are actually supposed to have fun, you will actually not rest, you will actually not recover, you will not you will actually, like, make yourself like burn out. You will burn out, and that's the problem. So yeah, this is like really interesting what he says, because, like, it is something that actually do not happen anymore. So yeah, like, and I think that, like, once you're able to, like, kind of like take back like take some distance with, like career life, destiny life and everything, like when you are able to feel more at peace, that's when your resting guilt cannot be felt, you know, and you are actually just like resting and recovering and healing from to go back at it again. But like this is the problem, is that like now it's like the problem is that like you fucking like stay take a fucking break and you regret it. This is how much the capitalistic capitalism as injured us as people. Think about it. You take a break, you do not feel deserving, and you feel that you are missing out, right? Or something like that, right? This is this maybe you can, maybe I'm wrong about this, maybe maybe you can see it as a conspiracy, but like for me, like this is like a real consequence of modern era capitalism. Anyway, let's keep on going.
Especially for people who feel drained or overworked. In fact, games do a better job at recharging mental energy than passive activities like watching TV or just scrolling through your phone. Why? Because they demand focus, they offer immediate rewards, they create a sense of control, all of which are linked to lower stress and improved mental resilience. Think about it, if you finish work, your brain's been on edge all day with deadlines, decisions, distractions. You need something that lets you engage without that pressure, something that gives you structure without stress. And games fill that gap better than almost anything else. Gaming is not just a way to pass time, it's a way to recover. If you're overworked, stressed, or mentally drained, gaming is a
also to find creativity, like to become creative, to be inspired. Like there are like many other ways. Well, like it's true.
deliberate, healthy choice to reset your mind. Even though the gaming industry makes more than music and movies combined, there's still this cultural undertone that games are for kids. When people talk about gaming, it's often in the same breath as cartoons or toys or just...
Yeah, and you see the fucking money bracket that like some fucking like games have, like are in, you know, like think about like the CSGO, like rare skins and stuff like that, that goes out for like prices that no one should ever fucking talk about. Like that's the thing, it will change. The problem is that like it's still like an industry made also for children. It's just that like everyone is part of it. It's such a beautiful industry, like, and adults and teens and children. But like, yeah, people calling gamers idiots, that's not a new one.
Simply wasting your youth. That stigma sticks, even if you're 30 and gaming is your main form of entertainment. But let's look at the facts. The average gamer is 32 years old. Over 70% of gamers are over 18. Nearly half of gamers are working professionals, and many of them play games to cope with stress.
Wait, wait, what the fuck? Nearly 50% are like, I'm guessing that like, because like not everyone is like, some people are studying, because like, this sounds like 50% of gamers. Is it just fucking like, it don't work, bro. Like, it don't work, friend. Like, the 50%. 50-50. I see you in Valorant. I see you in League. Like you're networking. You're
Half of gamers are working professionals, and many of them play games to cope with stress, improve focus, or stay connected socially. Gaming hasn't stayed in the teenage bedroom, it's matured with us. We're now playing narrative epics with 100-hour runtimes, games that explore trauma, grief, politics, philosophy, games that require decision-making, logic, skill, planning. Nobody looks at a 30-year-old who reads sci-fi books or watches 3-hour films and says, isn't that a bit childish? Yet somehow, gaming still does get that label. That guilt that you feel A lot of it is cultural baggage, but the stats show that gaming is not just for kids, it's the dominant art form of our generation, and you're not alone in enjoying it. Here's the thing, we're taught to measure value by output. What did you produce? What did you earn? What did you achieve? But gaming is rarely visible. You can't show it off in the way that you can show a gym body off or a home project. So
You can if you're part of a community, but the problem is that like loneliness in gaming is something that is really present as well, because community it's been like it's hard to connect.
it's easy to look at your gaming hours and feel like they've amounted to nothing, but that's a complete lie, because games don't give you external value, they give you
Let me just check one thing real quick, I swear. Okay.
internal value. They give you focus, challenge, mental stimulation, structure and flow, a sense of mastery, and most importantly, they give you joy. Psychologist
Absolutely true about everything, and confidence as well, problem solving skills. For some people, it teaches languages. Like think about like how many people like learn English thanks to video gaming. So many reasons, right?
I'm not going to try to pronounce that
Many benefits. You won't
name, but
try to pronounce that name? Okay, I will try to pronounce that name. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Huh?
you know, it's on the screen for you to give that a go. Anyway, they coined the term flow state, that feeling of being totally immersed when time disappears and your brain is firing on all cylinders. Gaming is one of the most reliable triggers of flow state. That's not a waste of time, that is peak mental function. And if your mental health, mood and motivation improve after a session, well, that's real value, isn't it? Even if it's invisible. Just because you can't show it doesn't mean it isn't valuable. Gaming trains your brain, it improves your mood, and it gives you meaningful internal rewards, and that counts. So yeah, it's easy to feel like gaming is a waste of time, I get it, but that feeling isn't based on any kind of truth. It's based on outdated ideas, cultural pressure, and a world that constantly tells you to do more. But here's the truth, gaming helps you rest, gaming connects you to stories, gaming makes you feel something. So, in my opinion, gaming matters. If gaming
And so do you, and your ways to pass the time, to enjoy your life. This is the important take that, like, oh my fucking god, capitalism, like, is such a nightmare to live in.
really was just a waste of time.
Well, at least like cool one, you know.
If it truly had no value, then explain this. Why is it the biggest entertainment industry in the world? Because that's what it is. Gaming now makes more money than movies, TV and music combined. Not just sometimes, but every single year without fail. Let's start with the numbers. According to Newzoo's Global Games Market Report from 2024, the video game industry is worth over $184 billion.
Yeah, because of what? I'll tell you. Because of the fucking Sims buying the skins.
Across 200 billion within the next year. Now compare that to the global movie industry at 80 billion.
Take away the Sims from the gaming, from us gaming consumers. Like gaming won't be that big.
The music industry at 30 billion and Netflix's 2023 revenue 33 billion. In other words, we spend more on games than we do on all other media. And it's not just casual mobile stuff. AAA console game and premium PC titles, you know, narrative adventures, complex RPGs, that's where a huge chunk of this money goes. People aren't buying games just to pass time. They're buying them because these games mean something. Look at the record-breaking launches. So you got Grand Theft Auto 5, which earned $1 billion in 3 days. Oh, it's raining. The Last of Us Part 2, which sold over 4 million copies in a weekend. Elden Ring hit 20 million units in under a year. Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year, with a player base rivaling major Netflix releases. This isn't just a big business, it is literally a culture. You are part of the largest entertainment movement on Earth. That's not a coincidence. You're not wasting time. You're part of a global experience. For a long time, people treated games like disposable toys, but over the past decade, that has changed dramatically. We now see video games taught in universities, dissected in cultural journals, awarded at mainstream shows, and studied as art. In 2012, the Smithsonian hosted The Art of Video Games, which featured Mass Effect, Bioshock, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Legend of Zelda. In 2020, The Last of Us Part 2 won Game of the Year, Best Narrative, and Best Audio Design, categories once dominated by films and TV. Game narratives are now compared to classic literature. Design is compared to architecture. Soundtracks are performed by live orchestras around the world. And games aren't just storytelling tools either, they're empathy machines. In Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, you experience psychosis through the eyes and the ears of the character. In Papers, Please, you're a border guard making moral decisions in a dystopian.
It also explains stories, like there are ways to just like they offer ways to explain mythologies, but also like history in an interactive way. It's not always like completely true, but like it's not always completely false, you know. And it's a good way to invite people to actually like care about these things, you know, like countries, like history, mythology, like science, you know, like
Regime. No other medium immerses
better ratios.
quite like this, not even film. Games aren't just games anymore. They're literature, they're art, philosophy, psychology, design, music, narrative, all fused into one. That's not childish, that is a masterpiece.
And I think that like for someone uneducated or children, this is a good leeway to actually discover and be invited in the world of art itself, and this in the idea of becoming an artist, because like back in the day it was like so difficult to actually like experience it and to understand it, and now I think that like video game allow for a new way for people to connect and to become artists, which is important, because like more artists, better world. What can I tell you?
Of human creativity. There's another reason that gaming is so huge. It connects us. In 2023, Twitch averaged 2.58 million concurrent viewers, watching other people play, laugh, struggle, succeed. YouTube gaming has exploded with playthroughs, long plays, retrospectives, and gaming commentary. Discord is a gamer's version of social media. Reddit gaming communities are among the largest communities in the world. So, you know, this isn't a niche hobby. This is how people actually socialize. Cooperative games, they build friendships. Competitive games foster teamwork. Single-player games spark online discussions. Story-driven games create shared emotional experiences. And streaming allows you to share your gameplay with the world. Every single-player RPG is now come with online communities dedicated to theory crafting, role-playing, modding, lore analysis, and discussion. Gaming is no longer something that you hide, it's something that you openly talk about. It's a way of building your identity, of being part of something much bigger. Gaming is social, it's cultural, and it's connected. It brings people together, online and offline. So when you catch yourself feeling like gaming is just a waste of time, look at what's around you. Billions of people, billions of dollars, awards, recognition, innovation, art, culture, connection, creativity. If all of this was truly worthless, then the world wouldn't be paying so much attention to it, but it is. Here's the truth. You know, stats and figures aside, you have one.
Stats and figures aside, fuck stats and figures. I'll tell you this. If, like, yeah, like, just enjoy your life, and, like, do you understand how fucking, like, terrible life became for everyone if someone actually like take the time to actually do the research to reassure gamers that like their passion, what they're fan about, you know, like is not a waste of time, to reassure teenagers that do not know better and that are not sure if it's the right choice to spend their time alone, rather than like, I don't know, like working, doing academics or like doing stuff like that. Other people, like, do you understand how fucking like bad things became like for us if people they actually like really care, like really lovely people actually take the time to reassure us that like, what you're doing, kid, you know, like playing the playing Fortnite, right? Like the meme, right? Like well, the kid the kid that actually likes it and grew up with Fortnite and like fucking like Call of Duty and everything. Well, he's not sure, and like I think that like it's really grim, the fact that like we as a community, like the elders within this community, take the time to reassure of other people that like, don't worry, man, like it's not you, just enjoy it, you know. Maybe it's a me thing, but I think that like it shows how dark things are like for people if just like a passion that is so obviously like beautiful and just like awesome, such as gaming, should need to be reassured about, to be reassured, to people need to be reassured that like they're not fucking wasting their life away just because someone that doesn't fucking like gaming, doesn't fucking like them, fucking said it, you know. Like this is how grim like things are, I guess.
Life and your free time, the hours that aren't claimed by work and responsibilities, that time belongs to you. Gaming isn't a waste of that time. You're doing something that makes you feel joy, presence, peace, whatever it is that you get personally from games, and that is enough. The need to justify your hobbies, to make them productive or educational or profitable, that pressure doesn't come from you, it comes from a culture that doesn't value rest unless it's earned. But here is your permission, you don't need to earn it, okay? You don't need.
Yeah, and you know, like you think that like for someone, well, for someone like me, it sounds stupid to fucking see that, right? But like to some kids, this video, and thank you so much, Dom's Gaming Channel, like to actually do it, to some kids that will actually watch it, they will actually like live better thanks to this video exactly, you know. So thank you so much for taking the time to care about the problem that like an insecurity that gamers have just because we get fucking like insulted, hated for no reason, you know. We're just passionate.
Need a reason to play. You don't need anyone else to approve. You don't need to feel guilty for doing something that you love. This is your time, this is your life, and if gaming brings you peace, meaning, or just a bit of happiness at the end of a long day, then what on earth is the problem? Listen, life is about making memories, okay? And memories, they either come from joy or trauma most of the time. Now, I guarantee you that you have a lot of gaming memories, and I highly doubt they're traumatic. So what does that tell you? It tells you that gaming has brought you immense joy in the past. At the end of the day, when we're old and we're looking back on life, all we have is 1, the people that are around us, and 2, our memories. So please don't ever think that gaming is a waste of time. There are so many games that you haven't played yet that can become great memories for you. Whether that's with friends or if it's you on your own, there are so many more gaming memories to be made that one day you will look back upon and be glad that you made them. Now, as you may or may not know, I'm not very good at goodbyes, so...
This was really great video. Thank you so much, Thomas Gaming, for caring about gamers. Like this is really awesome. This is really awesome. Like Let me be right back, real quick. All right, I am back. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this going. So yeah, you must know I'll absolutely love music. So let's check out The Strange History of Evanescence.
What's up, everybody? I'm Finn McKenty. This is the Punk Rock MBA, and today we are here to talk about Evanescence, who I think may be one of the very most underappreciated bands in metal. And what I mean by that is, like, yes, pretty much everybody knows who they are, but I think there's a lot of people out there who kind of think them as somewhere between a one-hit wonder and a meme.
Wake me up inside. I can't wake me up and save me.
But the truth is that they were much more than either of those things, with a much bigger impact and influence than I think a lot of people realize. And
Yeah, like it's been so long, people still talk about Evanescence. Do you know how long it's been? Way too long for Evanescence to not be a fucking legend.
their music actually held up a lot better than most of their nu metal peers. Like, to me, they really should be in the same conversation as bands like Slipknot, and yet, for some reason, they're oftentimes left out of those discussions. They put gothic metal on the map for a mainstream audience. They were a huge gateway into rock and metal for millions and millions of kids, and I think they're really only now starting to get the credit that, honestly, they've always deserved. And all of that is exactly what I will explain in this video. But first, if you haven't, please check me out on Twitch. I'm streaming twice a week from 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and there's a link to that in the description of this video. And also, thanks to Trade Coffee for sponsoring this video. As you may have seen, I've worked with Trade for quite a while now, and they've sent me a bunch of great new coffees to try. The way they do it is you take their survey where you tell them how you like your coffee, whether you like cream and sugar, what kinds of coffees you like, that sort of thing. And then they match you with the best roasteries based on their network of experts who taste test all of them. Like, they sent me one from Cafe Vita here in Seattle. I think it's a lot of fun to see what they send me every month and from where. And they also have a great guarantee. If for whatever reason you don't like it, they will send you a brand new bag for free. And right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order, plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/rock. Or click the link in the description of this video. That is more than 40 cups of coffee for free. So get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/rock and let Trade find you a coffee that you will love. That's drinktrade.com/rock for $30 off. Evanescence started out back in 1995 in Little Rock, Arkansas by the vocalist and essentially only permanent member of Evanescence, Amy Lee. And Amy was only like 14 at the time, but she was already a pretty serious musician. Her father was a radio DJ, so she kind of grew up around music. She also took classical piano lessons for almost 10 years. She did choir and wrote her very first song when she was 11 years old, called Eternity of the Remorse. Very emo and gothic, even in 5th grade. And her
Really giving up like it's really like people tend to forget that like emo and goth people sad style, right? Yes, for sad people. Yeah, the sad people with the sad style, they are sad. So eternal remorse of eternity. First song, yeah, no, match the vibe. No, it's because we're sad. Actually, we forgot. No, because we actually no. People forgot that like people with such style usually like wear it like because it looks beautiful, but also because they found some beauty in it, but also because usually we are in a bad place. We are sad, and people even I forgot that like this type of style usually is not worn by the happiest people, and it's just like funny how like goth and emo people like got like labeled as just like gothics and emos and scene kids, right? And we're not labeled as sad, but like listen to the songs, look at this fucking lifestyle. Like no, we are, it's just a reminder. I just forgot myself that like I am quite the fucking sad boy myself. What can I tell you?
Original dream was to be a film composer, and that was kind of the original concept for Evanescence. Amy wanted to combine her passion for classical music like Bach and Mozart with her love for grunge and alternative music. And all of that came together when Amy met Evanescence guitarist and co-founder Ben Moody at a Christian summer camp. They decided that they were going to start playing music together. They started playing local shows, and they were still in high school, at coffee shops and open mics, that kind of thing. And in 1998, they released their first EP on an indie label called Bigwig Enterprises. Followed by another.
Okay, what's the song? Actually, I want to hear.
Bigwig Enterprises. Released their first EP on an indie label called Bigwig Enterprises.
This is actually really good. Like, let me hear it. Okay, I got it.
Followed by another EP in 1999 called Sound Asleep, and in 2000 a release called Origin, which was kind of somewhere between a demo and an album. It's almost like a rough draft of their first album, Fallen, in that it has 3 of the songs that would go on to appear on the album, just with much less polished production because these were essentially home recordings that Amy and Ben did. But it does have some pretty cool songs that aren't found on any other release. And Origin was released in pretty limited quantities, somewhere around like a few thousand copies. And it's become kind of a cult fan favorite after they blew up, although Amy herself is pretty critical of it.
I only think they really love it so much because I won't just give it to them. They're just trying to say they're the biggest fan because it kind of sucks. I mean, I was really young.
But despite being kind of rough, it was enough to get the attention of a label called Wind Up Records, which you may know as the label that had signed Creed a couple years earlier. And as much as people like to laugh at Creed, they did sell like 10 million albums, which means that Wind Up Records had money to really invest in Evanescence and help them develop to their full potential. At the time that they got signed, Amy was actually going to school in pursuit of her original dream of being a film composer, but she dropped out. The label moved them to LA, got them an apartment, and connected them with a variety of different coaches, including an acting/performance coach to help Amy with her stage presence.
I have to like turn on our music that we were working on. We were like in the studio or writing at the time. Turn on Bring Me to Life, whatever, on a boombox and like act it out with no mic, like just faking it, pretending like the nerdiest thing you could possibly imagine. But I had to like make eye contact with him.
And they really did invest in the band. They worked with Evanescence like that for nearly 2 years before finally deciding that they were ready and connecting them with a producer to help them create their first album, Fallen. And here is the first of many times where the band cracked and really almost fell apart when the label started applying a lot of pressure to them to change their music to be more marketable. Here is what their A&R at Wind Up Records says. Before going into the studio, I remember listening to Bring Me to Life when he turned to me and suggested that as powerful as the song was, there was something that he was hearing that wasn't there yet, a rapper. And the problem was that this was definitely not what the band wanted. They didn't want to be seen as like the female Linkin Park. And more than that, if this was going to be their first big debut single, they didn't want people to think that they had a male singer. And to Amy, it was even more.
Yeah, I can understand that, but at the same time, it was such like it's so mainstream right now, but like it worked, you know, like it sounded great, you know. But like I can understand like how depressing it must be to.
It almost felt like the label was saying that in order for their music to be seen as valid and marketable, it needed the presence of a man. And so the band did something that I really respect. They just said no. They moved back to Arkansas with their parents. The label pulled all their backing. And it looked like that might be the end of Evanescence. Like they would have to start over from nothing all over again. But eventually they were able to reach a compromise. The band agreed to have a rapper on Back to Life in order to get on the upcoming soundtrack to the Daredevil movie. And the label backed off in terms of further interference with their music.
They were like, okay, we have a movie opportunity and we're gonna let you do your thing, but you do have to have the rapper on the one song because they specifically asked for it. I don't know where that came from. So we said, okay, we'll take it. Rapper in one song.
And it turns out that the label may have actually been right because, as most of you know, their first album, Fallen, was an almost overnight success, selling over 2.5 million copies in just 7 months. It went as high as number 3 on Billboard, and they got a Grammy for Best New Artist in 2003. But all that success also created a lot of pressure. The band was obviously happy about the success of Back to Life, but they were also concerned that they would be a one-hit wonder, and that fans would be disappointed when they listened to some of the other songs and realized that the band actually didn't have a male singer or rapper at all. But none of that ended up being true. Their second single, Going Under, was also a hit, followed by My Immortal, a song that really showed that the band wasn't just like a nu metal band with a girl singer, which was for the most part how they were categorized based on the first 2 singles. And I think even
Yeah, you have to understand that back then, like the metal industry, like the rock industry was like really like male dominated, dominant. It's still the case now. Now it's more homogenized, but like people don't talk about it as much. And but also like it's not as it became mainstream itself, so it means that like rock and rap do not do not create this much buzz like each time someone releases something, each time someone like sings the notes, you know.
To an Evanescence hater, if you listen to My Immortal, you can't deny that this is just a great song that in particular really showcases what an incredible vocalist Amy Lee is. That song even crossed over into the adult contemporary charts, and I think really solidified their status as one of the biggest upcoming stars in rock. And the truth is that it really was not at all an overnight success, because the band had actually been together for over 10 years at this point, but to a mainstream audience, it definitely looked that way from the outside. And before I go on, I do want to talk about why they had so much success so quickly. For one, even though the band is sort of thought of as quote-unquote nu metal, these are just legitimately great songs that transcend genre or time. Like there's probably still 8th graders playing My Immortal at their piano recitals because the song is just that good. Just like how you'll still hear high school.
Yeah, like one thing that people tend to forget is how Emily is an incredible pianist, and I must tell you that like as someone that like plays the guitar and sings, playing the piano is also like really quite a challenge when it comes to like being a performer, being an artist, and also like being entertaining, because like take the time to just like think about like the voice of Emily and the piano, the way that she plays the piano, and this is like, and you'll understand how skillful she is, how or expert she is, or how much of a great artist she is. Once you take the time to understand that, like, she does both live and on shows, she writes her songs, she does everything, and this is why, like, she deserves a lot of respect for her artistry, because my god, this Evanescence is really something out there, you know, like, she's really like
marching bands playing Green Day songs, because again, they're just so good that they transcend genre, time, trends, or any of that. The songs were beautiful and haunting, but also heavy. They were dark and touching, but not like overly down and mopey. And they really didn't sound like anything else out there, at least to a mainstream audience. Like, yes, of course, there were those gothic and symphonic metal bands out there, like Nightwish and Epica, who were doing something kind of similar. But at least at that time, those were like very underground bands. And so to most people, this idea of combining metal with synths and piano and Amy's style of vocals was like totally unheard of. And secondly, Amy herself has that really rare combination of star power and musical ability that again crosses all kinds of boundaries.
Absolutely.
She was very relatable to all the girls who looked up to her, but also appealed to a male audience in a way that, say, like Avril Lavigne just never did. And of course, she also happens to be very good looking, which never hurts in terms of marketability. She's really just like a super charismatic person that just about anybody can connect with in some way. Her lyrics were also very relatable. A lot of it focused on the kind of relationship struggles that
and it was beautiful poetry. It is beautiful poetry in general.
Anybody can relate to. And she brought an element of like softness and vulnerability to nu metal, which for the most part was very like aggressive, dark male energy. I also think she deserves a lot of credit for her aesthetic and fashion. I'm not saying that she single-handedly invented the goth girl look or anything like that, but when it comes to a mainstream audience, she kind of did. Like, who was doing that on MTV before Amy Lee? And I think it's also worth noting that there's not some stylist behind that. She actually designs a lot of her own clothes.
I usually just do a big round of designs right before we go on tour and get some stuff going, so I have my own look on stage.
And so you put all of that together, the songs, the look, and Amy as just this super charismatic, visionary person. It's the total package. So of course they blew up once they were finally able to get a label's marketing machine behind them. But even with all that success, there were just as many challenges for the band.
I was talking to journalists and people backstage at shows and radio stations all the time, like every day, and having to kind of go through the motions and act like everything was great. Like, please buy into this, believe in us, everything's great. But inside thinking like, I don't know, actually it might all be falling apart.
For one, her brother was at home dealing with his severe epilepsy while she had to be out on the road. There was also the increasing divide between her and their guitarist Ben Moody, who she started the band with. And he suddenly left the band in 2003 in the middle of their European tour. And aside from just being their guitarist, which was already significant, he was also the co-founder and Amy's main writing partner. So losing him like that was a huge shakeup for the band. There was also quite a bit of controversy at that time around their status as a Christian band, which I find pretty interesting as an example of how this dynamic worked in general back then. And regardless of what they would say in the media years later, the fact is that the band absolutely had ties to the Christian metal scene. I remember thinking of them as a Christian band. A lot of other people did too. They came up playing church shows. They had guest vocals by Bruce from the Christian thrash metal band Living Sacrifice on Origin. They headlined a Christian music conference called Provident. They were signed to the same label as Creed, which a lot of people I think have forgotten were kind of a Christian adjacent band. They absolutely knew what they were doing and made specific efforts to market themselves to the Christian audience, which makes perfect sense because especially back then, the Christian scene was an incredibly powerful market for a band. Christian bookstores alone could move tens of thousands of copies of any album that made it to those shelves, especially for metal bands because of all the parents out there who wouldn't let their kids listen to anything but Christian metal. And what ended up causing a lot of trouble for them is before he left the band, Ben Moody did an interview with Entertainment Weekly where he said, "We're actually high on the Christian charts," and I'm like, what the fuck are we even doing there? And it's kind of funny in hindsight that this would be such a big deal, but saying fuck was apparently unchristian behavior, and the band was pulled from Christian distribution channels, despite the fact that Amy was still vocally a Christian in the press. And so after even more lineup changes and a live album, there were a lot of questions about the future of the band. As Amy put it, the label had the same fears and suspicions that many people did after Ben left the band, that he'd pretty much done everything but sing and I couldn't do it without him. But the band answered all of that with their second album, The Open Door, in 2006, which debuted at #1 on Billboard and proved that they were here to stay. This album included one of the band's biggest singles to this day, Call Me When You're Sober, which was about her ex-boyfriend, Sean Morgan of Seether, and his struggles with addiction. And there was even more drama in the form of more lineup changes. By 2008, Evanescence had become basically Amy with a revolving door of members. And normally when I see that, it's a sign of weakness, of somebody who's difficult to get along with, or otherwise is a problem. But in this case, I actually don't see things that way. As Amy put it, it took me a while to figure out who I was. I'm the youngest person in the band, I'm the leader of the band, and I'm a chick. I learned how to say no and draw boundaries. So what I see here is Amy understanding who she is, that she is the leader of the band, and her job is to do whatever it takes to bring her vision to life. And so with all of that going on, the band took 5 years to release their next album, Evanescence, in 2011, which you don't really hear people talk about very often, but is actually a pretty great album. And shortly after that, the band announced that they would be taking a break, which of course normally means we're breaking up. But in this case, it really was a break, a pretty long one. But they returned in 2017 with an album called Synthesis, which I think is actually really interesting. It's all songs from their back catalog, but rearranged for piano and orchestra with some kind of cinematic electronic elements. And I think of this as an album that like really only Evanescence could do, or at least do well, because it really goes back to Amy's roots in classical music and film scoring, and also highlights her incredible voice, which to this day is pretty unique in the genre. Wake me up inside, call my name and save me. Which brings us to their most recent album, The Bitter Truth, from 2021, which really almost felt like a modern update to Fallen. And I would say it's actually pretty damn good, especially for a band that is now over 20 years into their career. And so the last question is, what is Evanescence's lasting impact and influence? Well, the first thing to me is that they were one of the biggest gateway bands of the 2000s as far as getting people into rock and metal. And a lot of those people would end up going on to be lifelong fans of the genre. And I think that was especially true for two groups of people who didn't really feel represented by bands like, say, Slipknot or Limp Bizkit, which would be women and Christians. Like, how many Christian youth group girls were out there who were maybe kind of alternative, but didn't really feel welcome in the scene, but then they saw Amy, who was maybe kind of the person that they wished they could be, and that is what ended up getting them into metal. And second, I think maybe more than any other band, they played a huge role in getting gothic or symphonic metal on the radar for a mainstream audience.
Yeah, this is true, because back then you just look at the people trying to promote like metal music, right? So and look at the fucking like mainstream audience. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's absolutely understandable. Like see with Avril Lavigne, with like some others, like let's say some 41, like people that actually do not scare everyone each time they fucking do anything, actually really brought something something to the industry.
And I'm not really sure if bands
visibility and actually
like Epica or Amaranth or Lacuna Coil were influenced by Evanescence or not. But either way, Evanescence is absolutely responsible for a big chunk of that genre's relevance, because they introduced that sound to literally tens of millions of people who otherwise would never have heard it, as well as popularizing that like goth metal kind of fashion aesthetic. And so ultimately, I think Evanescence actually has a much bigger legacy than what you often hear in the media. But I do think that they are increasingly getting the respect that honestly they always deserved. All right, my friends, that does it for this video. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you haven't, please check out my Patreon. Patrons get every podcast a week early. I do Q&As, I do some giveaways, I do some...
Yeah, thank you so much. Subscribe to the punk rock NBA. This is really awesome. Like, it does awesome. Like, if you're into music, metal music, rock music, like music history in general, it does it well. It does it good. So yeah.
The following trailer is rated.
Okay. Let's watch this.
In a world bombarded by predatory microtransactions and gimmicky free-to-play models that transform your rent money into an anime harem, one game will rise to take all those terrible ideas and put them in a video game that's not also completely terrible. Uh-oh. Genshin Impact.
The fact that the game actually is good, like, after all this time, like, and got accepted is such a funny irony. Like, Genshin Impact is not even, like, on the bad side of the gacha gaming games anymore. It's not even like the daredevil of gachas, you know?
Plunge attack into the latest trend in the cartoon fan service genre, as mobile game developers MiHoYo try to bridge the gap between console gaming and accidentally dropping your phone on your face, with an ambitious open-world adventure that doesn't even try to hide the things it's shamelessly ripping off, as it combines the atmosphere and aesthetic of Breath of the Wild, the climbing and gliding mechanics of Breath of the Wild, and the environmental puzzles of Breath of the Wild. Sort.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, back then it was such a it was such a scandal that they actually copied Breath of the Wild so much, but now everyone does it, so who cares?
With combat mechanics that are about half as complicated and twice as anime, and just about every way they can think of to drain you of your cash, in an unholy mix of Zelda and mobile game design that exploits every flaw in your dumb human brain to keep you playing and spending even as you curse yourself for it. Imagine if when your weapons broke in Breath of the Wild, you had to grind for half an hour to fix them or pay $5. Yeah, that's pretty much this game. Slide on the wings of the Traveler, some sort of angel twin who was booted out of heaven, I guess, and condemned to explore a lush green world filled with fantasy and whimsy in search of their sibling, alongside a party of knights, wizards, chefs, and probably the most obnoxious flying companion since Navi.
Wait! You sure? Myself a prize no sign, cook it up, dinner time.
As you fight to foil the dark machinations of the Abyssal Mage, by tearing through the countryside looking for anything you can loot or destroy, solving simple environmental puzzles for chests full of treats, doing MMO-esque quests and exploring extremely tiny dungeons, and absolutely clowning on every monster in your way, as you begin to realize that the heart of this game is a Banjo-Kazooie style collectathon. And once you've run out of story quests and places to explore, all you'll have left is a soul-searing grind to complete milestones that will nonetheless make you feel happy and good about yourself because video games have destroyed your mind. Hey, at least all this content justifies the 400 pulls I bought. I'm a danger to myself and others. Uncover the dark heart of Genshin Impact's bottomless money sink, the gacha slots. where you'll roll for the digital husbands and wives that you'll project your misplaced real-life affections on, as you gather a variety of pretty but generic animes that have the character depth of a bathroom sink that, unfortunately for your wallet, actually becomes a vessel for this game's most interesting gameplay, as each character comes with their own element, skills, and specials that you'll quickly swap between to create combos that make the difference between taking down Goliath enemies with ease or eating dirt immediately. But since almost all the best characters and weapons are locked behind a 0.6% drop rate, every time you experience the euphoric high of pulling a 5-star guy, there's gonna be like 100 where you just get a book. And when the rolls are somewhere around $2 American each, you can easily drop a hundo and get a pile of crap in return. Which probably sounds like an absolutely terrible deal, unless you've ever played a collectible card game.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god! Is this so Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh my I used to play Hearthstone and Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh my fucking god! These are money things you don't want to know about. You think gacha gaming is the last boss of like video game money scams. Look up the price of like card games such as Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Hearthstone. Once you see the prices, you'll be like, you know what, gacha gaming it was misjudged. Like, it was misjudged. It's not a money sink. It's not something like that is like using, like, it is not gambling. Like, no, people were wrong.
I've been getting ripped off this way since I was a kid, and I'll be damned if I'm stopping now. Once you've wrapped your head around the gacha mechanics, experience the myriad of other grinds built into Genshin, with separate experience bars for you, your character's weapons, artifacts, and talents, each with their own materials to collect and level caps to upgrade, all of which is gated by a mobile game-style timing mechanic that only lets you do so much at a time, but that you'll need to do a whole bunch of, as higher ranks bring actual challenges to the game that you'll need to keep up on levels to do. And the in-game stuff asks for multiple parties of fully leveled dudes like it's the last part of Final Fantasy VI. In a sadistic game design that punishes you with more grinding the more you become addicted to it. Unless, of course, you pony up some dough, you filthy pay pig. Honestly, this game is a pretty good deal if you have the willpower to just put it down when you finish the good parts. But the same could be said of heroin. So strap on that glider and get ready to soar to new, barely non-copyright infringing heights in a game that blurs the established line between console and mobile, and whose overnight popularity might cause a whole new wave of gacha monetized pseudo AAA titles to sweep the industry. At least until somebody gets mad and makes laws about it again.
Oh
Get
no.
those design docs together, quick boys, there's gold in them there hills! Starring Zelda, Link, not Kisuna, MILF Gonagle, Yaoi on Ice, Sword Art Online, D-Look My Balls, Starbucks, Typical Twin Tails, Lolly Legion, Busty One-chans, The Unloved, Megumens, so many Shotas, and calorie mate.
For the last time, Paimon is not emergency food!
Breasts of the wife. Genshin Simpact. Did you know that Paimon was actually one of the kings of Jinistan? The most obedient subject of Lucifer and ruler of 200 legions of demons to sow destruction upon the realms. So what I'm trying to say is... they'll probably rip off Final Fantasy and make her the real final boss. Tell us what you'd like.
Okay, I want to check out. It's actually true. What the fuck? God damn! This went dark quite fast. What the fuck? Well. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, Arcane. Watch it. If you didn't watch it, watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Just watch Arcane. Don't ask any questions. Watch it anyway.
From the guy who wrote Toy Story 2 and an NFT crypto show, so I guess it evens out, plus 2 literal names, comes a show based on the game that taught your 13-year-old cousin all their favorite slurs. Arcane League of Legends. Experience a surprising hit, as in it was a surprise this wasn't crap, with a story that goes deeper than punch the other team's crystal until it explodes, and an animation style that imagines, what if DreamWorks still cared? In a show that mixes cyberpunk, steampunk, skatepunk, and Punky Brewster to explore the eternal struggle between tops and bottoms, and prove that in any conflict between the elite ruling class and the masses who live in fear and squalor, there are very fine people on both sides. Enter a world where everyone is covered in buckles. And meet grown-up Bratz dolls Vi and Jinx. One is an ex-con turned narc who reloads her fist like Henry Cavill. The other is a manic pixie dream goth who bites her lip like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
You're so cute, don't think I can stand it. Sometimes I
What the fuck?
They may be on opposite sides of a techno-magic war, but they're both way too cute to be anything but the heroes. I mean, right? In a show that goes all in on the everyone good is hot while everyone bad is physically deformed trope. Watch. Good. Evil. Good. Evil. Hot, but one-armed, so evil. Super evil. Good. Also, aww. While these madcap Vi Jinx go down in the Undercity, take the elevator up to Piltover for Supply Chain Issues, the series.
The Hex Gates must remain open. Piltover's status as a global shipping lane depends on it.
Without the Hex Gates, my goods cannot reach foreign markets till winter.
In this walled paradise where magic is like science, and science is like CrossFit. As you trace the rise and fall of Jace, a himbo who invents new ways to make the pores work faster.
The Atlas Gauntlets. The mining colonies and the fishers can work faster and without fatigue.
He'll get seduced by power, and maybe his friend Victor too.
We're partners. No, not in front of all of them.
Because this show loves it when guys and gals go right up to the edge of being more than pals, but nothing more.
You're hot, Cupcake.
Can't jeopardize that China release. Either that or French animators make everything look sexual. Probably both. So dive in to a sprawling new adventure that's so much better than how it sounds on paper, mixing tons of Easter
It is so good. It is so good. Watch it.
Eggs for game fans with fully fleshed out characters and themes,
They've got plenty while we're down here scraping together coins.
mixing prequel level plot lines
Exactly the sort of thing we wanted to fix with Hextech, not just trade disputes.
with anime style action that might as well have them yelling out their attack names. And somehow mixing Imagine Dragons with music you'd actually listen to. No, this gym has to be a fluke. Don't push your luck, stupid good video game show. Starring Sister from Another Resistor.
You're my pudding.
Thor Loser. Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite. World's okayest dad. Professor Cuddles MD. Mommy Issues. A genius with a cough? Oh, he's screwed. Dexter's Lab. If you do not smoke this, we have a problem. The TVA's #1 ranked player. Little Buff Boys. Do or do not are going to cost you extra, that will. And, are they okay?
Mom! Mom!
Jinx.
Lol. What? Very unclear how species works in Piltover. Seems like it's 99.99% human, and then every once in a while there's like one hamster. Must be really hard to date. The first rule.
Oh, fuck. Okay, this was great. Watch Arcane if you didn't. Watch it now. Drop everything. Fuck everything. Watch Arcane. Okay, let's watch some memes.
Recently,
despite not
Hang on. I have way too many tabs open. I'm slowly struggling. Just give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Okay, let's watch some memes.
She doesn't even know how to brand that fucking thing.
Oh my
Oh no!
Oh!
What the fuck was that? What did he drop? A can? Is this a can? Like, I guess it's a can. Oh, maybe it's. They're so cute. What the fuck? Fuck yourself in bird language. What the fuck? Oh.
Damn, bro, what you want, bro?
What the fuck?
Hey, bro, it like your fucking. Hey, don't it like his body backwards as hell. What's up, dude? Hey, you have to. What the fuck? Oh! Dude!
Apa nih? Non, ok.
Oh, c'est fragile. Trou de cul, va.
Oh no.
You dare speak to me in that tone of voice, boy?
Oh, look at them.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Who's out here having dinner? Who could it be? Whose toes are those? Who's that great ape right there? Sugriva. Is it dinner time? Is it dinner time? Oh, I think it is. I think it is.
That's this shit.
Bro, why? Cats. Actually, must in the past, like people must have been like fucking like terrified of cats at times, you know, like when you just see their eyes. You know, when not everything was lighted up and like, I mean, whatever. Oh my god, what the fuck? What have you done? Why are you so cute? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
Alright, so we just got these in yesterday. And they're still little babies. Should be one under here. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh god.
Yes!
Oh.
Hey, show it. All terrain. You ain't gonna stop them.
Oh no. No way.
The abortion or not?
Wait, I'm doing this.
Oh.
Great. Wow.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Hi.
Okay. Oh. All right.
Hello. Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. By using 10 separate planes, 217 skydivers were able to jump and create numerous formations in the sky together. These fishermen in Alaska were on the docks when the unexpected happened.
He's right. He's right there now. He's coming up right here, dude.
What the fuck?
This is what it looks like when a paper towel absorbs water and space.
Almost like you had jello on your hands or gel on your hand, and it'll just stay there. Wonderful moisturizer on my hands.
Yum. Oh my.
This crocodile was having a bad day because the same thing happened earlier.
Damn.
This person discovered that you can create some incredible woodworking art by using crayons.
Oh damn. This looks really pretty. What the fuck? Damn.
This person made a time-lapse video showing how rain falls from clouds.
What the fuck? Damn.
That's in his video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon.
Alright. Alright, this is the, I will stop here for now. Thank you so much for, like, also, so, also,